Hi everyone, it's me Jason, or as you can see, my character Waco, and this is my discussion on the readings of chapter 7 through 13. During the reading of the third plate, I learned a lot of valuable information about the sustainability of food, overproduction, and the biodiversity and how it can affect everything and anything. The thing that stuck out to me the most while reading the third plate, chapters 7 through 13, was about sustainability. We learned throughout the chapter of land that Dahisa's success wasn't because the land flourished with assets, but because everything worked together with the land. On pages 180 through 181, we learn about Eduardo's saying, which is all you need to do is give the geese what they want, and they will reward you. Now, this isn't talking about the geese, but it is talking about nature or the land itself, the tierra, which tierra was given the significance of the tradition or the entirety of nature on its own. But that's for something else. Going further, we learned that was a saying for give nature what it needs, and the nature will reward you. Continuing to page 181, we get a little tidbit of what giving nature what it needs looks like. And that goes like this. Dehisa's land produces olives, which some of those profits are given to the geese. It's in the book it tells it's like a 50-50, so 50 goes to profits and 50 goes to the land. And these geese are sacrificed to the hawks, which in turn fertilize the soil. And the cattle and the sheep share the land with the pigs, which tend to the grass by grazing. And then the pigs share the acorn with the geese, which in this term, the pigs need the acorns to fatten up, but the geese, for Eduardo's side, need those to fatten up too. So, as you can see, they need to share or use the land as it's intended. And the way that they do this is by only giving a certain amount of pigs the chance to fatten up, depending on how many acorns have dropped. So they don't try to maximize their yields, but they try to maximize whatever they can without overworking their land, which is a sustainable process as we have seen. Going further, Dehesa is a prime example of agriculture that is sustainable and able to grow an adequate amount of assets, such as their olives, acorns, ham, and more. This is opposed to the American production system of agriculture. In America, we like to produce a higher yield of like either crops or meat with little amounts of time, and in general, bigger crops or bigger meats. As a nation, we run on meat. Meat is something that we consume pretty much on the daily, with the average American eating about 327 pounds of meat in the span of a year. And a lot of this we overproduce. In chapter 11, in the third plate, it makes note of this overproduction, explaining that America has become too good at producing a lot of animals too cheaply, meaning that we produce so much chicken that it's become the cheapest meat that we can buy. And because of this, we've overproduced. This overproduction needs somewhere to go. And us as a nation can't eat all this chicken. So where does it go? Well, I'll tell you where it goes. It goes to feeding our fish chicken, which is something that they're not supposed to eat. It's a problem. As you can see, the overproduction of chicken can go around and mess everything up. Now that chicken has been overproduced, because it's cheap and efficient, now we have to feed the overproduction to our livestock. And the book makes note of this, saying that they had, what was the author's name? Give me 1 second. Author's name being Dan Barber. Dan Barber asked a farmer why they feed their fish chicken, and the response was basically that there was too much chicken, and it is cheaper than aquatic feed. So it's let me know that the sustainability of our food is great, but not in the long run. As as we've seen in Dehisa, that they like to work with the land and only produce what they are able to produce, unlike America, where we overproduce, which in turn trickles down to every other system. With this trickle, we can damage the arable land that we have, and in turn turn it into non-arable land, which is bad, because that means that that land wouldn't be able to grow anything that we would need. And that's why the sustainability of our food is important, and this is why these chapters have talked to me about sustainability.